Whoops. I gotta turn the light back on. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. It's too dark. This is gloomy. This is gloomy, gloomy. I decided to come back and live stream this one. A little bit late here, but it's a good match. 4-all on serve so far, no breaks. Tabilo serving well. Hold on one sec, okay? That's better. Lights are on, and we're back, guys. We are back in business. Listen, we got to cover Jodar because this guy's the real deal. Very impressed with his hardcore performances this week. But Tabilo, we can't sleep on this guy either. He's a serious customer. That's a fantastic return right there. And a forehand cross-court winner. Jodar slips. He's complaining about the court. Understandably so. And he has 15-30. There's a mini window for Tabilo. Intuitive tennis after dark. Well, listen, there's gonna be night matches. We're gonna go late. We're gonna go very late. I'm gonna have to figure out some kind of sleeping schedule. That's a big point right here. There's that forehand curler from Jodar. We've seen that in the clay court season. The way he hooks that forehand and is able to get these angles off the court that are so sharp. Exceptional forehand. Hold on, let me get the defier. Yeah, hold the defier. Start getting a feel for this thing. I'm about to play test this. Yeah, the forehand from Jodar will produce more errors compared to the backhand, but it is for sure the shot that can produce a lot of problems for the opponent. But Tabilo hitting the ball clean. What a fantastic player he is. It's clean technique. Just a very nice player. But Jodar holding strong here in this game. From 15-30 to 40-30. You're back. Love your commentary. Jodar is so compelling to watch. Jodar, Menchik, Fonseca, Tien, very promising for the future of tennis. Yeah, absolutely. You add like Feast in there, who's similar age. Its future is looking pretty good. Now, look, can one of these guys break through the top? That's the big question. Double fall from Jodar right there. Back to deuce. One thing about Jodar, though, there's still some negative body language. And, you know, I've talked many times how Djokovic can turn negativity and negative emotions into positive play almost immediately. And he just accepts it. But it's not the given, right? That's something you got to work on. And I'm not quite sure that Jodar turns negative into positive always. Certainly, I'm not saying that he's not mentally not strong or anything like that. I think he's mentally, for his age, very mature, and it seems like he's been on tour forever, even though, you know, it's like he's basically came on the scene this year. But still, that's, if I want to point out something that still can be improved with Jodar, it's like this negativity, these exchanges with his dad. That always hits me the wrong way, you know. But other than that, you know, you could make arguments for this guy to be maybe, that's that backhand that's incredible from Jodar. Hit that from way off the court, right into the shoelaces of Tabilo. It was a shoelace ripper Sinner style. And he's up 5-4. Tabilo will serve to stay in the set. But maybe it'll be Jodar who's going to be the next guy. It's so hard to say. Like, Menchik has disappointed me a little bit, because just to be the same, in the same way Shelton has disappointed me. Not because they're not doing well. They're doing well, but I just expected more, you know, and maybe that's unfair to expect more. It's putting high expectations on someone. It's not fair, maybe, but I've thought that like those two guys were going to do better, you know, just because of the way Shelton has potential to play and his results. You know, semifinal U.S. Open 2023, winning Canada last year. Menchik won Miami, beating Djokovic 6-6 in the final. I thought they're going to build on this, but I feel both of those guys have regressed, I'll be honest. Even though Menchik made the semis in Roland Garros, I don't, to me, based on what I expected of him, it's less what he's delivering. So I'm very doubtful that Menchik and Shelton can break through the top. I'm doubtful. Can they be top 10? Of course. You know, Shelton is top 10 of maybe not much longer now with Canada coming up, but Menchik will get there one day. But maybe Jodar is different. You know, again, this is maybe unfair to put these high expectations on a young player like that, because it's just because Sinner and Alcaraz are so incredibly good, and players like that only come around so often. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, it's like it's a miracle we even have Sinner and Alcaraz, to be honest with you, after we had the big three. So, but again, maybe Jodar will be the guy out of that group that will have the best results, because something about him, despite those little bit of negativity here and there, he strikes me as someone who's like steady. He seems mentally steady, like he's going to deliver his game consistently throughout the year. So we shall see. I would not be surprised to see Jodar in the top 10 by the end of the year. Even though we're off of the clay, I think he might finish top 10. Or at least top 15. You know what I mean? Also, very interesting that Jodar chose not to play those clay tournaments in Europe. It's interesting to me, because I would have expected him to play there. And maybe it's a mistake that he didn't play, but if he ends up winning this tournament, you know, and doing well in Canada, maybe not a mistake. Just to remind you guys, Sinner, Alcaraz played those tournaments. Sinner won Umag. Did he win Umag? I don't know, but when they were younger, they played those tournaments. So I feel like Jodar probably should have played, but on the other hand, like the way he's playing here, maybe it was the right call to focus on the hard courts. I don't know. Listen, the season is a complete mess. What they did to the season is a disgrace. You know, I've talked about this last year. These tournament, we're in overlap city right now. I mean, it's like, it's so beyond frustrating as a tennis fan. that somehow this tournament, this 2-week long tournament that should really be 1 week in a 48 draw and not the 96 draw. It should be 1 week, which would open up the calendar more, which should give a little bit more breathing room. But now this tournament, the Canada 1000, starts tomorrow. And I remember last year the final was on Thursday, if you can imagine that. Yeah, it was on Thursday last year. So it's a complete disaster. And I don't blame players for having to make tough choices like this. You know, like Bublik, okay, he played those 2 tournaments on clay and he's not playing this. Tsitsipas only played 1. It's a beautiful lob right there from Tabilo. It's 15 all. 5 all Jodar serving. It's tough, you know. It's a mess because you got to be there in Canada and there's nothing else going on. That's the problem with the 2-week Masters. You cannot have a ATP 250 or ATP 500 while the 1000 is going on. You can't. So a lot of these guys end up playing challengers. Like it's a disaster. And yeah, it's not good. And now they want to get rid of 250s, and the whole season is going to look like this, like just these big tournaments. And it's just I don't know. It's sometimes you just got to leave things. You know, I understand it's a business, and tournaments like sometimes go out of business and they get moved, they get sold or whatever. I get it, okay, but you know, a lot of these tournaments are alive and well. I see the stands; they're packed. Maybe not in Memphis. It's a brand new tournament that barely anybody in the stands there. But those tournaments in Europe that everybody's ignoring, like those are some of my favorites. Like the stands were packed in Kitzbühel, in Gstaad, in Bastad, in Estoril. The stands were packed. I'm telling you, people love it. And it feels like those tournaments are being squeezed out. You know, maybe that those 2 weeks are going to disappear eventually. Who knows? So there's going to be another Masters coming, ATP 1000 in Saudi. Can you imagine that? It's going to be 10 of them now, although that one's supposedly not mandatory, like Monte Carlo. So it's, I don't know. It's a disaster. I'm not a fan of it, you know. Call me a traditionalist in the sense of a tennis sense, but I'm not a fan of it. You know, listen, the Grand Slams have been around for a long time, and a lot of these Master Series tournaments have been around for a long time. And here's break point for Tabilo. Jodar better be careful here. Tabilo is a dangerous player. Let's lock in on this game right here, and we'll continue with the tournaments just for a little bit longer, not too much. Tabilo misses the backhand return off a second serve. He wishes he had that back. But real quick, tennis can't. This is the big problem. Tennis can't only be about big. Tennis can't only be about big tournaments and a few players. It can't. Tennis has to be inclusive of like the entire top 100. That's when it can be. That's when it can work, because what's happening is that there's too much focus on big tournaments, too much focus on the big name players, and there's a lot more to tennis. So I, for example, love watching 250s, whether it's the tournament in Houston, or there's so many of these small tournaments that I really enjoy. And we don't want to see these weeks get squeezed out by these big tournaments that are being extended longer and longer, and added new ones are being added. And you know, because listen, these top guys, they go deep in these tournaments, and they need to be careful. They need to be selective. But everybody else is playing a full schedule. They're playing nonstop because they might be losing early, but it's not a big deal to lose in a first round and second round and play a consecutive week, because you got like 4 or 5 days off in between tournaments. So it's okay to play 4 tournaments a month if you're not winning the whole thing. So the whole long season and the schedule is too long. It's such a lazy thing to say. It's too long for Sinner and Alcaraz and the top 10 guys maybe. So give those guys freedoms, but they won't get the freedoms because they want those guys to show up. It's with mandatory, and they offer, penalties if they don't play, and so on. There's a huge hold for Jodar right there, up 6-5. Still no breaks in this one. And now doubles is on the chopping blocks. So yeah, the changes are not good. Let's put it that way. It's not good. It's wrong. So enough of that. Okay, well, we'll ignore the overlap tomorrow. We'll ignore it by not even discussing it. And that tournament is going to get going anyway around Wednesday probably. And I do have the draw. We can preview it maybe early next week. We'll see. But anyways, let's lock in on this match. Enough of that. Let's take a look at the rankings real quick. And we'll take a look at where Jodar is, where he will be. And right now, Jodar is ranked, 19 in the world after this tournament. He's got a new career high of 19 in the world. Now, if he wins, he'll go even higher. He'll go up to... He might go up to 15, actually. 16. I don't know. I have to do the math here. But yeah, he's top 20 now. So I'm telling you, by the end of the year, I could see this guy being top 10. Let's look at Tabilo. Where is he going to be at? Tabilo, where are you? Where is Tabilo? Here it is, 26. He goes up 4 spots. Top 30. His career high is 19. So both guys going up. It's good to see. Guys, we got no break so far. Tabilo's serving to stay in this first set at 6-5. I'm going to take a look at the chat in a second, guys. Again, the Defier review, hopefully Monday. I probably should restring this thing. This string's on here that looks so bad. To give a proper review, which that's going to suck, trying to string this thing. I just don't have enough time, but we'll figure it out. Ooh, that's a beautiful forehand for Tabilo. Inside out winner right there. Such a clean technique on that forehand. Beautiful technique on all strokes, really. And 15 love. ATX Open 250 here in Austin. It sells out every year so far. We love it. That's the women's one, right? That's the women's, I think, no? It's before Indian Wells. Is that the one? Yeah, doubles players are getting the raw end of the deal. It's like, it's brutal what they're doing to them. They're going to destroy doubles, though, with that. But you can check out my video on that subject. But it's not actually good for doubles. I don't know why they're doing it, because they're trying to get singles players who don't care about doubles to play doubles. That doesn't sound like a solution to me. Because what they're doing at the lower levels, at the challenger level, they're prioritizing singles players, which means that they're eliminating the pathways for double specialists to rise in the rankings. And they're also reducing draw sizes. So listen, it's going to be very difficult for doubles specialists to survive. It's going to be those guys that are on tour right now, but once those guys retire, I don't think you'll see any new ones popping up. And a lot of the ones that are ranked too low to get into any big tournaments, they're going to be basically forced to retire. Most of them will not be able to transition to singles because they're too old. And so this is brutal. What they're doing is very brutal. It's very, 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 very tough. In 10 years, I doubt doubles will be a full tour. Yeah, I think what they're doing now, if this goes through, which it seems like it will, this will destroy doubles, where in 10 years you won't even recognize doubles. It'll be a joke. It'll be a complete joke. Yeah, it's Super Day, but the strings are they're so that's not polyester. I can't play with this, whatever this is. This looks like some kind of multi-filament. I can't do this. First point of the tiebreak, super important. Jodar misses a forehand. Tabilo with the mini break. You know, Jodar's mistakes, when they're coming more of the forehand side. Yeah, the ATX Open. Okay, I remember that one. Yeah, it looks like it's cold there. I remember the players were always wearing long sleeve and long pants because it looks like the temperature is tough in the evening. Tabilo with a quick lead here. 2-0. Let's see if he can hang on to it. Well, of course, tennis needs doubles. You know, it's like it's part of tennis, man. You can't get rid of it. Come on, you know, it's part of tennis. The discipline of tennis. Now that is a Djokovic style return there from Jodar. Got a body serve, and the way he got his body out of the way there, that's Djokovic style. Very flexible, and was able to create space in a spectacular fashion there. Forehand slice from Jodar. Tabilo on fire right now, hitting the ball so clean. And attempts a backhand drop shot and misses it into the net. 2-all. You know, I hate to say this stuff, but for me, when I'm watching Jodar from the baseline, I'm seeing a little bit of similarities with Djokovic, a little bit in the movements. Of course, it's a different player, different technique, and all that, but I'm seeing a little bit of similarities with Djokovic. There's that cross-court forehand again. And he hits that thing so angled, and you really don't have an angle when you're in the middle of the baseline here. Like when you're standing here, it's hard to curl the ball here. Very hard, actually. But he can get the angle of the ball, the contact that called like a hook contact. He can hook the ball and make it have a crazy trajectory on that forehand. Tabilo with a strong serve there, and we're at 3-all. Who am I rooting for? No one. Second serve here for Tabilo. Let's see if Jodar can be aggressive right here. The forehand's looking clean today not today. I mean, he's been playing well all week. But that forehand's looking very strong. Inside out, clean inside out winner. Wins both points on the serve, 4-3. Got some bad connection here. Hold on. When will you do a video on the Yala versus Pegula? You mean the live stream? Tomorrow, 12 o'clock, I'll be live. Are you talking about the wrap-up video? I'll do that later tonight, after this. 4-all. That's a good point from Jodar right there. Aggressive point. Ooh, Jodar had that volley right there. A pretty good backhand approach shot down the line. But what a little defensive pass there from Tabilo. Keep that point, point alive with a quality shot, because he made Jodar bend on the volley, but still it was not that difficult of a volley. He normally makes that one. That's a tough miss right there. 5-4 Tabilo. He's got a chance to serve out this first set. 2 points away from it. That's a big return, though, from Jodar. Wow. Are you kidding me? That's a Yala style right there, that return. Wow. 5-all. And what a steady rally there from Tabilo. Jodar misses a backhand down the line, uncharacteristic. Here's the first set point for Tabilo, 6-5. On Jodar's serve, though. And Jodar saves it with a strong second serve. Tabilo tried to take it early. He tried to maybe come to the net, who knows, but he definitely tried to take that early, leaned into that return, and just mistimed it. It's a risky play right there. Don't blame him to try to be aggressive on set point. Don't blame him, because most players, they want to get the rally started. So I don't blame him. I don't blame him to doing that. That's not a bad play, because look, play a big player like Jodar, do you think that you just punt that thing in? Were you going to win the point? maybe, but you're depending on the error. So I don't mind him taking the initiative there and try to take that back and return early. Second serve again from Jodar. Forehand miss from Jodar, and here's set point for Tabilo again on his own serve this time. What will he do here? Set point 7-6. He goes kind of central. And Jodar, another error. And there's the first set for Tabilo, 7-6. A lot of errors from Jodar in this crucial stage here. Did not play a good tiebreak. Missed that volley, a couple of one forehand miss, definitely 2 or more backhand misses. A lot of errors in this tiebreak from Jodar. And now he's in a real jam here. It's going to be tricky now. Tabilo, like I said, this guy is no joke. He can ball. Anyone that can beat Novak Djokovic at the Master Series level 2 times in straight sets on clay, that's a big-time player. So all right, guys, we're going to take a little break here after the first set. I'll be right back. You stay tuned, okay? Okay, guys, we're back in business here. A fan wasn't feeling well. Tabilo continued to play exceptional tennis. Incredible backhand down the line. Winner. Four to 15. 15 hold for Tabilo here. Jodar's got to be careful. He has got to keep the intensity up so that this thing doesn't slip away from him. Let me know what you think. Backhand error from Jodar again. Making quite a few unforced errors now from the baseline. Continuing into the second set. Yes, Jessica Pegula. Jodar's gotta steady himself here, or he's in a lot of danger. Big serve right there. Ace out wide, 15 all. Yeah, Seth, thanks to Dave, we're able to figure out how to watch it without commercials. You go on the Tennis Channel app and you click on, it's in a, well, I don't know what it's like on the Apple TV, but on the iPad, it's in like that second bar, carousel bar. You got to find where it says live from Washington, D.C. Click on that. Different announcers. It's not the same guys from Tennis Channel. And it's no commercials. Nice point there from Jodar, 40-15. Much needed. A very aggressive forehand approach shot. And then put away overhead. Cheat code against lefties. The first thing is like what I tell everyone, play more lefties, you know? Practice with them. Don't be afraid to practice with them. And it's just, practicing different directions that you might not be comfortable with. So especially on the serve, like you might not be comfortable hitting the second serve on the ad side towards the tee to the lefty backhand. Maybe you always go out wide, you know? So it's getting comfortable with directions that you're generally uncomfortable with. And it's a lot of work. You got to work on it. Play a lot of lefties, got a lot of reps. And it's a strong hold right there from Tabilo to 30. Sorry, guys, I had to take care of some cat problems over here. Hold for Tabilo. A lot of people had Jodar winning this whole thing, you know, but again, don't underestimate Tabilo. It's a very strong player. I'm gonna do a poll here. What do you guys think? All right, I'm gonna do a poll. These are fun. These are fun, guys. Hold on a second. Seth, regarding the lefty serve, you know, it depends what kind of serve it is, right? Like sometimes it could be a different type of spin that's bothering you, you know? It's tough because the spin's going to be coming, you know, like a slicer will come in the opposite way. The trajectory will be the opposite of what you're used to. So it can get super tricky, especially if you never play lefties. Jodar has been serving well, though, this week. Been bringing the heat. Serve has been looking good. Very strong service game so far from Jodar. 40 love. Ace. I don't know, maybe the serve has gotten better since, you know, he had his breakthrough on tour in Morocco this year. As I say that, he throws in a double fault, a wild one. 40-15. One thing I will say about parent coaches is that back in the day, you would rarely, if ever, see a dad coach on the male tour. I think there was some, like Bruguera's dad was coach for a while, Sergio Bruguera, but it was rare. It was a rare thing. You mostly would see it on the WTA tour. But nowadays, there are so many dad coaches on the ATP tour. That's been a shift, a change. I won't go any further with that. I was just telling you that there's been a change. There's so many dad coaches. That was not unheard of back in the day. Unheard of. I mean, think about it. Well, Tsitsipas' dad is fired now, but Shelton's dad, Jodar's dad, you had Tsitsipas, not anymore. You have Holger Rune's mom. That's even worse. Oh, what a return from Jodar. Incredible. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. And I'm not saying that Jodar, don't take it the wrong way. Just trying to be funny. Runa's mom might be, I don't really know her, or I don't know anything about their setup. She might be really good. I have no idea. But it's just a shift in the psyche of a player. I'm telling you, back in the day, the players would not be cool with their dads coaching them. Most of them. And I still think that it's, if you look at the very top of the game, you don't see it up there. So maybe something to ponder. Hold on. The headphone's going dead. Now, I hate, oh, Zverev too. I forgot. Of course, how can I? Zverev too. But yeah, it's it depends. Like, it's hard to say that it's bad. It just depends a little bit on their individual circumstance. That's a big serve right there from Tabilo. At 30 all, delivering that monster serve. That's strong, very strong. Let's just make up a scenario where, like, okay, we got like a 22-year-old or 24-year-old, and the dad is controlling everything, and it's like he's not letting the player call the shots. I think that's bad. Don't think that's good for the player's psyche. Now, in the Zverev's case, I've heard that he lets the dad just coaches him. That's a really, really good return from Jodar there, cross court. Was almost a winner. Incredible return. So Zverev's dad, he doesn't get involved with his private life, and it's just simply just coaching him. So I think that's probably okay. But I do feel like the individuality of a player is important. So when they're young, like Jodar is, I think it's okay. But at some point, I think you let the kid go. You let him go, let him do its own thing, call his own shots, hire his own coach. Because a lot of times, also, what people don't realize is the parents run things in the background, and the players now doesn't really have that sense of independence. And I do think that's bad. I don't think that's right. Runa's mom. So, yeah, I watched the Breakpoint, Dave. I saw it. Jodar is starting to really put pressure in this game. He wants to flip the script in this set. Wonder what Carlos Moya is up to. That'd be a good guy for Jodar to be coached by. And again, not that there's anything wrong with his current setup, because I'm not one of these guys that just that sees things black or white. Like, it depends on many factors. And I look at it like this: like, they've had such success, such a meteoric rise in the rankings. There's a double fall from Tabilo, breakpoint chance for Jodar. They had such a meteoric rise in the rankings. You got to look at it. Okay, what did they do? Like, not criticize, but rather compliment. Ace out wide, a beautiful slice. You can look at it like, okay, what did they do? They must have done something right. They've gone up in the rankings like crazy. So it's for sure working well, and it's a good setup and all that. I don't know anything about it. I really don't. And I'm not being critical, but I am saying, like, at some point, I think it's not about like the actual coaching per se, but rather the player being in charge. Now, of course, the team is important and all that, but the player needs to be in charge, in my opinion. Like, I feel like that's a little difference between Sinner and Alcaraz. I feel like Sinner in charge completely in charge. He's the boss. Alcaraz maybe now in charge, but prior to like last year, or when it was this year, January, where they split up with Juan Carlos Ferrero. Was Alcaraz in charge? I don't know. I don't know. Still had great results though, Alcaraz. So you can make this argument 1,000 different ways. It's hard to say. Maybe he needed them. Who knows? I don't. It's hard to say. Jodar continuing to apply pressure here. Serve and volley from Tabilo. Interesting. And it works. Add in. Uncle Tony said that was a genius setup because it's different being coached by your uncle and your dad. It's completely different. And what they did was that beautiful lob by Tabilo there. Beautiful running lob. Man, he's pulling out all his repertoire, his full repertoire right there. It's an incredibly versatile player and a nice player to watch. Up a set, 7-6, 3-2 on serve in the second set. Yeah, so I think the deal was that Tony was going to get paid by Nadal's dad. So he wasn't going to get paid by Rafa himself. And I think that allowed Tony to be a little bit different in his style of coaching. Because that's the advantage that you get when you get coached by your parents or by family in general. Because if it's for free, they're doing it from the bottom of their heart. And they're going to tell you the truth, of course. Not all of them, but you're likely going to get the real coaching, the real deal. And sometimes that turns really ugly and becomes very bad. And when you pay someone, there's always that question, okay, because they're getting paid, are they careful with what they're telling the player or not? I'm sure the big-time coaches are not, but I'm sure maybe some are. Maybe some that are hanging on to their, job, so to speak. They're being careful with what they're saying. And, as a player, you don't want a yes person, a yes man or a yes woman or whatever. It's very complicated. And I hate to tell you guys, it's like one way or the other. It's the best way to look at it's individual cases, And even there, unless you know the deep history there in the family and the dynamics, you wouldn't really know what's going on, whether it's good or bad. Unless it's really bad and people know about it, that's different. That's bad. But yeah. In any case, Jodar, 15 love. I feel like the energy level is up for Jodar. I feel like he's going to do something in this set. I just got a feeling he takes the second set, Jodar. Even though Tabilo is playing exceptionally well. It was 30 love. Somebody says the way Jodar is doing is speaking volumes of how healthy the parent coaching is. Jodar is so mature. that means absolutely nothing. The fact that Jodar is doing so well and he's so mature and it's such a everything's working so flawlessly. Listen, I've been in tennis my whole life, and again, you have to look at it at the individual level, just each family, because I don't need to tell you guys. I'm sure you know how disastrous parent coaching can be. Can be an absolute disaster. So it can go in many different ways, and it all depends. It all depends. Nice hold there from Jodar. Take a look at the stats real quick. See what's going on with the stats, guys, real quick. And what we see in the stats is that, wow, only 3 break points in the entire match. 2 on Tabilo's serve, 1 on Jodar's serve. No breaks to serve. No breaks of serve so far. $15-all. Jodar with the very positive body language there. $15-all. Maybe Jodar will try to push here to get the break. Here it is, 15-30, backhand error from Tabilo. Hits the backhand long, 15-30. Very powerful shot there from Tabilo, overpowering Jodar, who hits that backhand late, misses it wide, 30-all. There's the break point for Jodar. Tabilo dumps the forehand into the net. Let's see if Jodar can capitalize right here and get the first break of this match. This is the first serve, second serve. Huge serve right there. Humongous serve down the tee. Saves break point. Back to deuce. Monster second serve. A lot of risk there, but it paid off. Exceptional point for Jodar right there. And he's pumping the crowd up. Great defense too from Tabilo. It's a nice running forehand. Really clobbered that running forehand. But Jodar with some great hands up at the net. Second break chance in this game. There's a break for Jodar. 4-3. Wow. Four, 3. Jodar with a couple of freshly strung rackets. Want to redo the poll? True tennis vibe. All right, let's do it. Let's redo the poll. Oh, hold on, I gotta end this one first. When do you recommend the SMB, or which player should use it more? Well, it depends on your volley skills. You know, I think you should have sound volley technique to be able to pull it off. Very athletic point there from Jodar. Nice overhead. If you have good volleys, it's tough to say because, see, the thing about certain volleys, you got to practice it to be able to pull it off successfully. Most people don't, and then they want to use it in the match and it goes bad. It depends. You have to get your volleys better. You have to practice actual transition volleys. You have to practice serving and volleying. Then you're going to serve and volley on the first serve, the second serve, what type of serve. All that's got to be practiced. But I think the good way to do it would be when you need it. Maybe you're down in a match. It's so hard to say it like it's a general strategy because it depends what type of player you are, who you're playing, and all that stuff. But for sure, it can be used quite effectively. For example, some players will do well, serving and volleying in important moments and putting pressure on the return or having to come up with a good return, stuff like that. But again, you have to practice it though. And you have to make sure that you also not only practice serve and volleying only, but also the movements, which are so important. They're so important. Because serve and volleying is, the higher the level goes, it's mostly movement. The big serve from Jodar right there, 40-30. The score depends who you're playing, you know? Depends. Depends on the circumstance. Nice hold game from Jodar right there. Look, back in the day, it was serving volley on everything. Every first serve, every second serve. Nowadays, it's a tactic that's not used that often. It's still used sometimes. Often, you know, going by feel too, when you feel like it's the right time, you just do it. Don't overthink it too much. But most of the time, it needs to make sense in the context of what's happening in the particular match that you're playing, you know? Patterns on the return, maybe there's a weakness on the return, maybe there's like a habit of like popping the ball up, which could translate into an easy volley. So it depends. There's a love hold from Tabilo, and Jodar will serve for the second set at 5-4. Tim feels extra interested in the rise of Jodar. Well, what are you saying? Jodar is vying for a tour final in his maiden tour year. It's never been done. Well, he already won a tournament this year in Morocco, ATP 250. So he's already done it. Beautiful hands right there from Jodar. An excellent little dropper, volley dropper with the backhand. 15 love. They should put Jodar on the Laver Cup team. By the way, Sinner is again not playing the Laver Cup. I think it's smart not to play it. Nice forehand from Jodar there, cross court, drawing the error from Tabilo. 30 love. Monster serve down the tee. There it is. Second set goes to Jodar. We're going 3, guys. We are going 3. Jodar upped this game big time in his second set. I can tell even before he got the break, like the energy level was up. He was strutting around, pumping himself up, playing well. All right, take a little break, guys. We'll be right back. Jodar took a break, went off the court, comes back, and is on absolute fire. Tabilo was walking around back there, waiting eagerly for Jodar to return. I feel in situations like this, like you leave too. You go change your clothes. Of course, you don't know how long it's going to be. He's going to be gone, so you don't want to like go and do it within the permitted time, of course. But you know, prior to a third set, changing your clothes, changing your socks, and maybe even taking a shower, it's going to refresh you. It's going to make you feel better. It can translate into better tennis for sure. Double fault for Tabilo. What a nightmare start in this third set for Tabilo. 1-0. Wow. That's how tennis can go, though. Jodar taking his time. I don't blame him. By the way, men's final tomorrow. After this late match, big disadvantage for whoever comes through here against Fritz. Man, that forehand cross court is something else from Jodar. So good. It is so good. Dirty love. He's come out here in the third set completely refreshed, like a new man, looking so energetic, looking like it's the beginning of the match. While Tabilo looks a little bit like annoyed, you know, he was waiting for him and all that. That's a nice point right there from Tabilo. Beautiful, beautifully constructed point, going hard inside out, and then eventually hitting that inside in forehand winner. 30-15. Jodar tries to take that backhand return early, but dumps it into the net. (40-15). A big service game from Jodar right there. What a hold. Again, he's come out in this third set, completely different body language, different intensity, looking very strong. Guys, I apologize, but I have to take care of something real quick, cat related. Tabilo holds. Jodar up a break in the third set. 2-1. Oh, no, it's not connected. What is this? Oh, yeah. Hold on. Hold on. That's a problem. I guess I'm going to have to watch it on mute until these charge. Which is okay, I guess. All right, Jodar serving 2-1. Big serve out wide there. 15 love. It's a big second serve right there from Jodar. But it's long. That's why it's nice to have sound. I can't tomorrow. I don't have any time to actually hit balls tomorrow. It'll have to be Monday, Dave. Tomorrow is no chance. A strong point there from Jodar. Tabilo misses the backhand into the net. 30-15. Strong shot there from Tabilo. 30 all. Draws the forehand error from Jodar. Very central ball. That can sometimes be very effective. But that's a clutch play right there. Huge. 30 all. Dropping an ace like that. Down the tee. That's clutch. Shut up. Another big serve at 40 all. A true sign of a big server is pulling these out at these circumstances. 30 all, 40 all. Let's see if Jodar can come up with another one. He's serving bigger, I think, than he did at the beginning of the clay court season. I think it's faster, the serve. Another big one there, and a routine forehand inside-out winner for Jodar off a defensive return from Tabilo. 3-1. He's going to be looking to get that insurance break right here and to go up 4-1. 30 love. Oh, did it make that? Didn't. He did not make that kind of overhead slash high forehand volley. Tabilo, that is. Let me see if I can get the sound back on here. Hold on. That should be okay. It should be okay. All right, there we go. All right, I can hear again. 3-2 Jodar. Still have a break though. Fritz versus Jodar. Who can win? Pros and cons of each. Thank you for the Super Dave Rafaji. Rafaji brand. It's a tough one, man. I don't know. It's going to be test of the steadiness from the back of the court, I think. And it's going to be, I think we're going to see so many great rallies if that match does take place. As I said in my previous live stream, Fritz is so consistent from the baseline. He can hang in there with pretty much anyone from the back of the court. So you know, beautiful rally right there. Nice pass from Jodar right into the shoelaces of Tabilo, who pops up that half volley, drop shot attempt. Jodar comes in very quickly and puts away the backhand down the line for a winner. 30-15. There's a hold from Jodar to 15, 4-2. 2 games away from this match. Ooh. Guys, my microphone is about to go dead. I'm gonna have to swap up mics, okay? Just give me 1 second, okay? Now is a good time to take a break because it's 4-2. So let me quickly change out the mic. I'll be right back. Test, test, test. Okay, we're good. Nice first point there from Jodar. 15 love. Came out on fire in this third set, Jodar, and is continuing to play with a lot of intensity. Very strong point there. T serve. Tabilo pops it up. Jodar takes care of business and puts away the forehand close to the net. 30 love. What a service game here. Up 4-3. Rock solid from Jodar. There's a point for Tabilo. Beautiful cross-court forehand return, and then the cleanest down-the-line forehand you'll ever see. Beautiful. How good at closing out is Jodar? Asked Tim Japan. He's proven that he's a clutch player. I think at Roland Garros was an important tournament for him because he wasn't anywhere near his best, and he still managed to win matches there. That was very important. So I think, again, for his age, he's quite mature out there. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and he doesn't have that many mental lapses or ups and downs. He's pretty steady. He's a steady guy mentally. So to answer your questions, how good is he at closing out? He's pretty good. There he fails to make Tabilo play. He had a serve that came right into his racket there on the forehand side. Beautiful point there from Tabilo. Brings Jodar in with a nice little dropper. Jodar can't handle he can't control the volley, misses it wide. 40 love. Sorry, 30 love. Now it's 40 love. Huge serve from Tabilo right there. All right, Tabilo holds. We're at 5-4. Jodar will serve for the match. $11 over here, Eastern Time, 11:10. Late finish. I think this is going to be a disadvantage if Jodar ends up winning this. But the order of play for tomorrow hasn't been released yet, so I know that the women are playing at 12 o'clock, but I'm not sure what time the men's final is. In any case, this is a disadvantage to finish deep into the night, because by the time he goes to bed, it's probably going to be 3 a.m. tonight. By the time he's finished with everything that he's got to do, he's got to do press, he's got to do this, he's got to do that, he's got to do his post-match recovery, he's got to eat dinner. He ain't going to bed before 3 o'clock, I'm telling you. So, yeah, it's going to be a disadvantage. But interesting here, how will he serve this thing out? When does the game end? It goes up to 6 in this set. So if Tabilo wins this game, then it goes up to 7, win by 2. The game itself is finished soon. You're talking about the game of tennis in general, that it's like dying and going away. It'll be around for a while. And Jodar is starting where he left off in the last service game. Man, was it Pete Sampras over here? Incredible. Good point, Dave. He's young. He'll be fine. That's a good point, actually. That's a great point. All right. It's not Pete Sampras. Good. Because Jodar misses the first serve there at 30 love. Double fault. But watch him drop a hammer right here. He's going to make up for this double fault. No, maybe not. Second serve again. And there's match point for Jodar, 40-15. Goes for that big T serve there. Misses it. Second serve. And there it is. Jodar wins. He's in the final of Washington, D.C., ATP 500. The biggest result of his career so far. The biggest result so far. Maybe. Wait, wasn't he in the semifinal of Madrid? Okay, hold on. Let me look. I think he was in the semifinal of Madrid. Lost to Sinner. Hold on. Is this bigger than semifinal Madrid? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I rate semifinal Madrid higher. Hold on, was he there? Quarterfinals of Paris, Rome quarterfinals. Lost to Dardery. No, he was in the quarterfinals of Madrid. Okay, got it. No, so yeah, this is the biggest result of his career. I don't know. Is this bigger than quarters of Grand Slam though? I don't know. In any case, I don't care. This guy's going to win many, many titles. Doesn't matter. Incredible third set from Jodar. Like energy level was through the roof. I think that was smart to get off the court. I don't, listen, I don't know about sportsmanship as long as it's within the rules and it's legal and it's not. It's okay. I recommend that players change their clothes as often as they can. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to refresh you. So I think that's what he did off the court. He changed his clothes. Came back a new player, came back refreshed, and was simply outplaying Tabilo in the third. Third set he was the better player. So now let's talk about Jodar versus Fritz. It's tough. Fritz is very good from the baseline, but Jodar, then it's a whole nother level of baseline skills. So I don't know. I probably have him kind of even in that department, to be honest with you. The serve is edge towards. It's an edge towards Fritz for sure, and return of serve is definitely an edge towards Jodar. Jodar is an incredible return, so he's going to be trying to put pressure on Fritz if he gives him the opportunity to put pressure. So Fritz's first serve percentage will be very important, so that he doesn't give opportunities to Jodar to attack the second serve, because Jodar has no problem handling that kicker from Fritz. He likes returning high on the backhand, so absolutely no problem for him. So again, first serve percentage for Fritz will have to be there, and Fritz can also mix up his second serve. I do think Fritz will play well. I don't know what to call this one, I'll be honest with you. I'm just kind of stumped. Like, I kind of want to go towards Jodar, but then again, Fritz is so good in these type of tournaments. He loves playing in the United States. He's looking to win the first title of this year. He's looking to qualify for the ATP Tour Finals. I think he's not even in the top 10 of the race right now. He's low in the race, maybe 12 or something. So this will be super interesting tomorrow. Maybe I'm leaning a little bit towards Fritz, just a tad, but not that much. I know a lot of you guys are Jodar fans and you want him to win, and he certainly can. It's not out of the question. So we shall see, but I will see you guys tomorrow at 12 o'clock for the Yala live stream, okay? Also, make sure that you turn on the notifications so that when I do go live, you get notified, okay, guys? I will see you in another one. Take care.